Yeah, and you deal in absolutes. If you know that something can happen, and if you're told that it can happen, do you know the Roger Bannister?
The 4 minute mile.
Yeah, and so
that's one of the best.
Scientists said that
insane.
It couldn't be done. They said that the human body couldn't deal with it. And then after Roger Bannister did that, within the next year, there were no changes in running technology, trainers or anything, and 3 people broke it.
I think it was more than that, wasn't it? Like 24 or 26 or something stupid.
It's people broke it, and it was that limiting belief that was taken away.
But that just shows human psychology 101 if we put glass ceilings on everything.
Yeah.
And also why competition is a good thing, because it makes you rise up. If you look at, would Messi be Messi without Ronaldo? Would Ronaldo be Ronaldo without Messi?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be someone to push you to try and keep going.
Yeah.
And I think that's where having that is really what's going to help people in terms of even their own businesses, trying to maybe have a little bit of a competitiveness with their clients, in particular if they're male ones.
Yeah.
Because from my experience, a lot of people who want to get in shape, they like that little bit of like a challenge. Like, okay, we need to try and hit X weight loss target by 1st of Feb.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. This is the goal. I need to lose this much weight a week. Cool, I'm on it.
And that's it, being super specific and dealing absolutes. And if you give anything away in terms of like you say, give people an inch, if you give them a slight doubt in their mind, we could do this, we might do this, then there's a chance they might not do it. But if you deal in absolutes.
But that's one word. We could, or we might, or we are doing this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just completely change up. We'll probably here at 7 Figures have people, fighting for that 500k plaque one day. Because you remember, like sort of 5 years ago, everyone was talking about 10k months as if they were like the golden goose, and then loads of people did it, and now 10k month is like your entry level.
It was like Tari did a 50k week last week.
Yeah, it was
insane.
insane.
So it's like,
yeah.
And we're designing now the 200k plaque, and I think that's the thing in terms of the goalposts can keep getting shifted, but people also, when they see someone's done something like the Roger Bannister thing, then other people realise it can be done.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, in particular in British culture, have very limiting beliefs. And I spoke about this a lot at the event at the weekend, but there's the next 12 to 18 months will be the easiest time to scale a coaching business, just because the economic strength of what's going to happen in terms of like interest rates coming down, inflation, money being pumped into the system, crypto markets are ripping. Like, people will feel like wealthy again and will want to spend.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be a shit show in like 3 years' time, but for the next 18 months,
it's time to make money.
You need to take advantage of it, and you make hay while the sun shines is an important thing. And I think a lot of people sometimes aren't as sharp as they should be when it's almost like game time.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think what's funny as well is you see these people that get these 100k plaques, and you realise that they're just normal people. They're not. They're great at what they do, obviously, but they're not. There's nothing different about them than.
Well, I think people thought that with probably the most shocking one was Aaliyah at first, and because there'd be like bodybuilders who are jacked, who are like IFBB pros, who are like 35, and then it's just like 24-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And then probably even like Nathan and people like that. People are like, well,
and Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, if you told me that a farmer's going to get a six-figure month from coaching, I'm like.
But it's just proof of concept. I think that's the most important thing. What would you say is the biggest limiting belief most coaches need to almost kill going into 2025?
That they can't do it. I think there's a lot of comparison, and they look at they get in their head that they believe someone else is doing something very special, something very different.
Some magic silver
some
bullet.
Magic pill.
Chris gave him this thing.
Exactly.
He's not telling me.
Yeah. Why aren't you telling me this, Chris? No. And so it's the belief that actually they have all of the skill sets in front of them, that they could achieve that right now. It's very simple to sort of think that they don't, but really it's also very simple to acknowledge that you do.
You mentioned potential skill sets. What's the one skill set you think most coaches neglect?
Understanding how to effectively communicate to people, whether that's your staff, whether that's your ICA, your client, or your prospects. If you cannot communicate to all those channels, i.e., broadcast to your ICA, speak directly to prospects in DMs, speak to your clients, speak to your coaches, speak to your VAs, then you can't build what you want to build. We have company values. That's incredibly important, and we all speak to each other, and Jack and I, we speak to the clients as within those values, within the framework that we have, because we understand that we have a shared language, a shared dictionary. And a lot of coaches feel that they need to say certain things because someone else has said a certain thing, and then it works because they've been scrolling Instagram for the last 10 years. So it's about actually finding out how you phrase your conversation, how you frame your conversation to all these people. That's the hardest thing.
Yeah, I say that. And even you talk about framing conversations. There's a couple of things I say. Like, we spoke earlier about like the lack of certainty in the way you say something, like might, could, maybe, rather than like definitely, this will. Very different amount of conviction. I think that is something people need to think about a lot in terms of the language they use.
Yeah.
When you talk about language use, I think it's also very important to be aware of the language you use when you talk about yourself. I'm not good at sales. I can't do X. I can't do Y. Well, you can't because you fucking just said you can't do it.
Exactly.
And I think that's where being very self-aware is an important tool. And I'll catch myself and be like, yeah, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Like you have to be mindful of the way you talk about yourself, because that's one of the quickest ways to like slow yourself down.
Yeah, as soon as you say, I can't make, I don't know, 30K a month, you won't.
Do you think some coaches just need to set bigger goals, be more ambitious?
I think so, because it's like fat loss, generic fat loss. If you say you need to lose £100, that's a huge task. And if you say to someone who's earning 5K, they need to earn 100K, it seems so far removed from where they are now. So I think they do need to set bigger goals, but they also need to understand the roadmap to get there. And that's one of the things that we're really trying to ingrain in clients. They'll put on their onboarding form, I want to be doing 50 or 100K months, and they're doing like 6 or 7 now. And that's all well and good. And, you know, I like and respect that.
Yeah, I love ambition.
It's brilliant. But we're trying to really show them that roadmap of, these are the steps that you take. If you do these first 4 continuously on a loop for 6 months, you'll probably get to 25, 30K from your 2K now, if not up to 50, if you're really good at like sales and your ads hit a little bit better. And then from there, you know, there's the other steps that you have to take. And people will look at step 1 and go, yeah, I've kind of done all those now. I've got my couple of clients
because you've done it once for like 2 weeks.
And then they go up to, right, I'm going to run an event and I'm going to run some great ads to it.